that's basically how you interpret frame data. I mean, the advanced section, obviously, you can see took a really long time to explain, much longer than the basic and the intermediate. But that's because this is all what Street Fighter really is. And it gets a lot more complex after a while because obviously there's moves that can be canceled. Like you saw Bison stand fierce was -6, right? But he can cancel the stand fierce into a scissor kick. So he can turn that -6 into a -2 if he does fierce in the roundhouse scissor kick, right? You can do something in between. It's not a true block string, but if you respected him too much and you block standing fierce in the roundhouse scissor kick, he's -2. It's still your turn, but it's not as good as it would have been had he just done standing fierce, because then he would have been -6. But again, now you're thinking, oh my god, you just added cancels into this. This is so complicated. Really, again, it's about the last move that you blocked and understanding if it's your turn and it's not, or if it's not your turn. So when you have trouble beating a character, like if Armika gets in on you and starts blowing you up, go to her frame data section, look for the -1s and look for the -2s, because that's what good players are going to attack you with. They're not going to throw out these -6 moves willy-nilly because they know they can get punished. So they're going to throw out most of these moves that are -2-ish, -3-ish at ranges where it can't be punished. But as soon as you memorize which moves of those they are, you don't care about the numbers anymore. You just know now it's your turn when you block those moves. So yes, you do have to know the opponent's character's moves very well to know when it's your turn and when it's their turn. But after a while, you just get used to that move. So I was able to do a little bit better against Karens because after I blocked the low strong, I wouldn't touch a button anymore. I just wouldn't do anything because I knew I had to respect her turn. And a lot of the Karens would just do low strong, stand strong because they went for that frame trap every single time. So I'd block those 2 moves, it would push me far away, I would just backdash and get out of there. You know, because the distance now turns her +1 into, you know, more safe, that I have more freedom to move. I can disrespect her turn a little bit more by getting away. So again, you don't have to memorize the numbers, but the frame data is still really important enough to know what the flow of the game is. So, you know, when you watch top players play against each other, look at the buttons that they use to poke. Understand why they're using those buttons. Look at the buttons that the top players block when they start to counterattack. And start understanding why those are the moves that they're trying to counterattack. This is what Street Fighter is. This is largely what Street Fighter is. And in Street Fighter 5, I'm just going to say this, it's more important than ever. I actually feel like it's more important than ever. And a large part of that really comes from the fact that your normal moves... So a lot of people hated one-frame links. One thing that I've kind of ignored here is everything that I've been talking about, like Karen low strong, stand strong, has been frame perfect, right? I've talked about low strong, stand strong. If it's frame perfect, then she has that 3-frame hole that she's left for you to touch a button and die, right? But people don't necessarily have that great of timing to be frame perfect every time to do low strong, stand strong perfectly, right? That was true in Street Fighter 4 because there was no input buffering system. There was none of that where when you hit a button, it kind of hit it again for 2 extra frames. So a lot of people talk about, oh hey, in Street Fighter 4, I hated 1-frame links. Well, guess what? It wasn't just combos that timing made top players better. It was also pressure strings. Most top players are going to be able to do these pressure strings properly so that they do it almost frame perfect. Low strong, stand strong, frame perfect. You only have 3 hole window there to do anything. Players who aren't as good are going to do low strong and then wait too long and hit stand strong, and all of a sudden the window is going to be gigantic. And then the opponent's just going to come right through there and beat you up. Well, guess what? In Street Fighter 5, that input buffering system, not only does it help you do 1-frame links, but it also makes it so that during block sequences, during your attacks, you can do frame perfect sequences as well. So now low strong and a stand strong, you can hit stand strong 1 or 2 frames too early and it'll still come out frame perfect. So now what's happened is that Street Fighter 5, the pressure has become so much more frame perfect And that frame perfectness is more available to everybody, that the frame traps and the strings and the respecting turns is so much more important than it was before. It was very easy to disrespect other people's turns because you could just assume maybe they didn't time their block string good enough so that you could get in there. You could go for that risk. That's not going to happen here in Street Fighter V. Being frame perfect is a lot easier now. This is why, in my opinion, understanding the concept of having your turn versus their turn is really super, super important to understand. Because moderate to great players, moderate to pros, are all going to be able to do perfect frame traps on you, frame perfect block sequences, and all this stuff like this. So you really now have to understand when it's your chance to get out of there, when it's your chance to move. And that's why I feel like this is such an important concept in Street Fighter V. Now, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about frame data, and I know this is a lot of information. And I know at the start of this show I said that FirstAttack is for beginners, it's supposed to be for very easy concepts and stuff like that. But I just went into all this stuff, and it's just really, really complicated. Again, the first segment before the break, I considered basic to intermediate. This last section, I do consider advanced. But I wanted to talk about the whole thing all the way through, because to be honest with you, breaking it apart into multiple episodes, I don't feel like would have really done the topic justice. And I really wanted to have those first two sections so I could help explain this last section here a little bit better. So hopefully, even though as a beginner, if you watch this advanced section part and you're just doing, I mean, I saw this emote in the stream chat all the time, that oh my god, what is going on emote. I don't even know how to do that, to be honest with you. I don't even know what the code is for that on Twitch. I saw that a lot, and again, I 100% do not blame you. It is a tough concept to understand. But keep in mind how this works, and once you start playing a little bit more, once you start recognizing certain things, like, okay, understand now that you're looking for certain moves. So now, like, everyone's going to know that crouching strong from Karen is a move you have to respect. And you start understanding that. And then once you start getting these concepts into your head a little bit more, then all of a sudden you can actually understand this whole advanced section that I talked about a little bit. Yeah, there they all are. So there you go. That's pretty much the concept of frames and frame data and why it's so important. Again, I understand that this last section here, the whole second 2/3 of today's episode was really confusing, and probably people's heads are swimming if you're a really beginner. And a lot of you are going to watch this and be like, man, to hell with this game, man. I don't want to learn all this crap. This is too much work. This is too much trouble. Look, everyone before Street Fighter 4 learned fighting games without frame data. And the way we just did it was we started recognizing when I blocked this move and I tried to hit a button and then the other person did a move, I lost. So I just learned not to hit that button anymore after I block certain moves. You just start learning to recognize what moves you have to respect after you block it and which moves you can disrespect after you block it. So again, you don't necessarily have to know the numbers, but in Street Fighter V, if you just go look at a frame chart really fast and go, okay, -2, that's a move I can disrespect. +2, that's a move I have to respect. That's all you really have to do. Or let's say you keep getting hit by a move over and over again, or a move is driving you crazy. Why is this move so good? Go to the frame data, look at it. It's +2. Okay, now I know why it's so good. I gotta respect it. And that's really all you need to do, is understand what you have to respect, what you can disrespect, what you can punish, and what will put you in a true block string. Again, I didn't talk about 0. But I will say this, any move that leaves you 0 on block or on hit basically puts you back into neutral, because you both are in a very even situation. So if I punch you with a punch and it's 0 on hit, you both basically are in the same position now, and it's neutral all over again. You guys, now you're both fighting for your turn again. You're both trying to figure out a way to get your turn back. But now you'll understand why some pros will get away with things like, I'll do a move and an uppercut, and it just looks like a random uppercut. Like, why did Daigo uppercut there? Oh my god, he's psychic. Because he did a move that was -2. And he basically handed you your turn and said, like, here's your turn, hot psych, and then he uppercuts you. And that's why it works with pros so much more often than it does when you're playing a game. You're like, I want to be like Daigo. I hit a button and then I uppercut. Well, your move was probably +3 or something like that. Like you did close strong and the uppercut. And the opponent's already scared. You know, the opponent already knows that stand strong is +3, so I'm not going to touch a button. So you uppercut and I blocked. And I'm like, well, he threw away the game. He gave me a free crush counter. Woo! But if I do a move that's -2 and I do it enough and you learn that you can disrespect me afterwards, now I can uppercut. Now I know I can catch you with these psychic uppercuts, these Umahara shoryus, the Ume shoryus, you know. That's how you understand the flow of the game, is understanding where that turn system kind of comes into play. And that's Street Fighter. That is so much of Street Fighter right there. That is the in-close game of Street Fighter 5. So, again, very complicated stuff. I hope this made sense to a lot of people. I hope that this will help a lot of people understand this. And again, if a lot of what I said in the advanced section was confusing and hard to understand, don't worry about it. Keep playing a little bit, and then at some point in time, when it starts to sink in a little bit, maybe you might want to come back and watch through it a little bit and see if you can actually get an understanding of what I was talking about in this situation. But outside of that, I hope everybody luck online. I hope everybody can keep grinding it out. You know what? I've gotten a few messages from people already that have told me that, you know, my first episode has already helped them a lot, and you know, that they used to never win, and now they've gotten like to 1,000 LP, and things like that. I mean, honestly, it warms my heart. I'm so happy to hear that people are starting to understand the game. I've seen people read and watch Pat the Flip stuff, and they say the same thing to him. And you know, this is the goal. I just want to get more people playing the game. It makes me super happy to see it when people can get into the game and really understand it a lot more. I'm going to keep trying to do more episodes for you guys. Again, please send me topic ideas. As I mentioned at the very start, I wasn't planning on doing this as the 3rd episode, because you can see why now, right? The advanced section was really complicated. I had no intention of making this the 3rd section, but just from all the conversation I was having with people, I kind of knew this is what I had to do early on. So what I teach is very much influenced by you guys out there. Please let me know what you guys want to know next. Like I said, the 2 episodes that I wanted to do immediately right now is just, you know, techniques on how to do special moves, because there's more to it than just learning how to get good at a fireball. And then I also want to do a lesson on how to recognize good buttons. And again, I wouldn't be able to teach you how to recognize good buttons without understanding frames, because now that I've taught this whole frame things, it's a lot more understanding at that point of what makes a good button or not. In any case, let me know, and hopefully this did help you guys. And again, if you do appreciate a lot of the stuff that we do, I'm sure David, you know, he's been doing a lot of real life stuff. Unfortunately, the 2 of us, you know, obviously we have normal jobs and stuff like that, so he's been swamped with a lot of things. He hasn't been able to do like the Tuesday show today and such like that, but he's been putting a lot of good stuff on YouTube. He put up a lot of match videos that he's played. We've both been putting up tech and such. So if you like the stuff that we do, these lessons, like episodes like this, if you like the content that we're putting on YouTube, definitely consider giving us a subscribe on Twitch. You can also donate to our PayPal, which you'll find on our YouTube, on all of our YouTube videos. You can also see our Patreon link down here if you guys like the stuff that we do. Speaking of the Patreon link down there, I have set up a system, like one of the tiers, I think it's like $12 or something like that, which is a lot to ask for, admittedly. I said at $12 that we'll analyze a match video of your choice, so if you would like me or David or both of us to watch one of your match videos, critique, give it advice and stuff like that, there are those tier levels to donate at, and we will do that for you. It says $12 down there. Honestly, I mean, look, I know I'm probably, you know, shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but I mean, if you donate like $10 to the Patreon, $8, you know what, far be it for me to not want to analyze one of your videos or something like that. So, but that is definitely a series that I want to do. Watch your videos, analyze them, talk about, give you advice and stuff like that. And it's some of my favorite videos because I like going into them blind and watching them straight on stream, because when I do that, then I can talk about my mindset without knowing what happens. So I can be like, okay, pause. At this point in time, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I would be doing. And it's a really kind of a neat exercise to go through so a lot of people can understand what it is that you're supposed to be doing when you play the game. In any case, that's it for now. This is, once again, I'm James Chen, aka jchensor, though nobody calls me that. And don't forget, the road to KOing your opponent always starts with a first attack. Thanks guys for tuning in. I will see you guys later. Peace out.